Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Going live here. Gonna let some people jump in before we start getting to these bets, but we got plenty on the slate here. We got a nice size NBA slate. Well, 5 games for a Monday, and then we got the NFL as well. So if we want to talk about some Monday Night Football, go ahead and jump in. Let me know what you got. I'm gonna take a look at a couple things that I'm already looking at for today for the NBA, and we can talk about the couple bets I have here for the NFL. But I want to let people get in here so we can get in. But jump in the comments rather with your bets. We got to look from Thomas for Powell. We're talking about Norm Powell here in that Clippers team. I saw a couple people that like that. We can take a look at that. I'm going to be bringing this stuff on the next up slide here as soon as I get it up. So I'll put Norm Powell in here. Powell, get him in here for the points. But yeah, jump in the comments. If you do have a bet you want to look at, go ahead and throw it in there. We'll go ahead and look at it together. I'm going to start sharing my screen in a minute. We'll try to get through as many of these bets as we can. I'm going to get the bottom line scrolling as well, so you can see the upcoming or the leans that we have from the show and a couple other things if you don't want to miss any of the stuff we're talking about here. Had a rough time with the with like 5 days in a row of betting and then pulled it all together. So just another little reminder to stick to your unit sizes. Don't worry about trying to up things and start adding legs to the parlay. Just go ahead and stay to the system that you build for yourself, and you'll be fine. That's what we learned as the comeback has been the last like 4 days or so. Been a lot better for me, especially. So I'll take a look at the record with you all in a second. I'm going to start sharing my screen here as we got people coming in, and I want to start getting to these bets that y'all are putting in the comments. But definitely do jump in the comments. If you will give that video a like too, hopefully you'll get plenty out of this. It'll be worth it for you, and you'll find it worth your time. Maybe we'll find some bets. The other thing that I like is that I've helped some people stay away from some bets that they shouldn't have made, and hopefully that's something that you get out this show as well, which is sometimes you need to know why you shouldn't be betting on stuff. And that's what we find out here as well as what we are betting on. So I got everything set up. Finally, go ahead and jump into those comments with your bets. Let me bring up the correct slide here. We'll get it going with these playa props. All right, I'm going to share this. Cool. So we got Props Madness in here. I'm going to be looking at some outlier.bet as well. So if you do want any of the links to the tools that I'm using, jump in the description of the video. That's where you're going to get links to everything that you need here. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at some of these things. I'm going to get into the comments, see some of y'all jumping in there. What's good? David Cruz, got to look for Poole. Paul, yeah, appreciate it, Paul. Definitely give that video a like. Cam Johnson, PRA, and Poole. Let me look at, okay, so we got Cam J. PRA was the look. We got Poole. I believe the look was for an under on Jordan Poole. What's good, Jacob? Let's see. We got Schroeder on the assists. Wemby, Garland, 6.5 assists. I did give that out earlier. I'll let you guys know that now if you are looking for that one. You know what? Boost this Wi-Fi real quick. Make sure that we don't lose this. Once I start sharing my screen, everything goes to shit. All right. I think I'm going to probably lose y'all for like 1 second, but it's gonna be worth it because I'm gonna up this the Wi-Fi, change it. Give it 1 sec. I know I might lose some people, but it'll be better in the long run. So back to the better Wi-Fi. We got to look for Cooper Kupp. I like that. Let me get Wemby in here as well. I was trying to say Darius Garland. I do like on over 6.5 assists in this one. I mean, I think we just got to take point guards that are playing against Chicago. This hit rate is ridiculous. I believe all 10 point guards have hit their assists against the Bulls. So Darius Garland's the guy. I mean, Donnie Mitchell is at 4.5. He's obviously a little bit more likely to shoot off of his drives than Darius Garland, who will be passing. I think he'll find the big men for some lobs and some oops today. So I like Darius Garland, 6.5 assists, giving that one out here, just mentioning it. I'll put it in the bottom line as well. Let me get Wemby in here. I like to go under on Wemby in the right spots because they still inflate his shit way too much. Good to have you, Mike. Always good to have you. Let us know what you got, man. Appreciate it, TR. Yeah, we had a good call earlier. Give a little one-on-one betting consultation, if you will, to Thomas. We got through some good stuff. If anybody in the VIP Discord wants that, let's look at Giddey, Keegan Murray, and Zach LaVine. Just adding a bunch more stuff. Let's see, Keegan, Zach LaVine, and I forgot homie's other one, and Giddey from Youngin. All right, we'll take a look at Josh Giddey as well. I know. I believe it's Prop Bomb is fading Giddey today on the PRA always trust what he says. So keep that in mind. But definitely jump in those comments if you do have a bet that you want to go through. I'm going to go through as much of this as I can. I want to see real quick about, so we got Cooper Kupp. Let's throw some football in here. 7 receptions for Kupp. Man, that's the problem with betting on the Rams when they do have both their receivers in, is like which one of them is going to go off. But Cooper Kupp this year with Puka in actually has 10 receptions a game. One of those obviously was totally false because Puka got hurt in the first game of the season. But it's a kind of a crazy stat. All right, I'm throwing Cooper in here. Kupp spelled with a K. All right, let's get into some of these looks here. I'll take a look at Stafford while we're looking at him, obviously, as well. Dolphins money line. I kind of like the Rams tonight. Tyreek is still questionable, which makes me think he's not even going to play the whole game if he gets in there. I don't even think he still has props up. I'm going Lambs tonight. I think the Rams are a little bit underrated in a couple of different ways. I might even still have my NFL stuff up here. Yeah, so a couple of things I was looking at real quick. I'm sorry, we're just do NFL real quick. The things I was looking at here with the Rams, these are in the videos that I'm putting out for the NFL. Mostly doing the island games, Thursday night, Monday night. So for Monday night, here's what I was looking at. Like for the Rams on offense, they're just going to keep getting better in the pass EPA there. The offensive line has given Stafford pressure. The Dolphins, I don't believe they're getting that much pressure either. Let me pull up my notes real quick. Where are you at? For the Dolphins pressure percentage, they're at, on defense, 22nd in pressure percentage. So I don't think Stafford's going to be under it. He has not been a good quarterback under pressure, but they've been a lot better at pass blocking, especially in the last couple of weeks. This Rams team is in the top 10 in EPA as well. So, yeah, also true with Tua. It's kind of tough to always the under is always a play, just concerned he might not finish the game. So I actually like the Lambs tonight there on the money line if you're taking it. And I only call them that because it used to piss off my Rams fans. All right. Looking at the NBA, though, and getting to let's start with that Clippers game real quick. Get to Norm Powell, Private Powell. We got Norm at 20.5, and both he and James Harden have had their props go down a bit. They opened at about 21.5 for both of them, and now they're both at 20.5. You can still, that's only on Bet River, so you can still, and at FanDuel. Pinnacle has 21.5. Not too juiced to the under. So I would trust Pinnacle. I don't know if I made that clear from the jump, but if you're looking at Props Madness, one of the best things that they do is pull through Pinnacle, which is the sharpest book that's on here between all these books. Being a sharp book means you actually set your own lines. So you're thinking about these numbers legitimately. You're not just copying other people, but that's why all these books have very similar price lines. They're just copying each other to make sure that they're not missing any inefficiencies in the market. Norm Powell. Points, I mean, he's been high. I do like 20.5 for him, but now we're talking about the Thunder. I don't really want to take anybody's over against a pissed off Thunder defense. I'll be honest with you. The way that the Thunder play defense, you can kind of see based on their play type for the most part. Spot ups, they are bad against 26, fifth worst basically against the spot up shooter because they pressure the ball. That's why they're number 1 against the pick and roll ball handler. Anybody who's bringing the ball up and is the dominant ball handler, that person is going to get the pressure from the OKC defense the most, and that's going to force them to make some passes into places like the corners. You can see they give up a bunch of threes in the corner, but they're very good above the break. So anybody that's playing mostly above the break, I don't like taking their points against this team. And Norm Powell, say what you want, is shooting 51% of his shots above the break. Granted, a lot of those are coming off spot up from James Harden, so he might be the player to target based on spot up alone. But and again, honestly, I'm just picking my battles here and going, I don't really want to take anybody against a team that just lost by like too much to the Warriors, even though they came back at the end. They're down by like 25 points at one point. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to be playing, I believe, at home against this Clippers squad. So I don't really want to mess with fading them in any way, which means Norm Powell points. But if I was going to take points for someone, it'd be Norm. I would just rather have it at 20.5 rather than 25.5. If you look at his shots, I mean, yeah, he's put up a ton of shots. So it's not a bad bet. It's just one that I'm staying away from today. So I'm not going to spend too much time when I don't necessarily like a bet to just try to find a reason to bet it. I like Powell points more. While we're on the subject, I'll be honest, we might as well just pull up James Harden and his stuff as well. My bad. I went past him. There's James Harden. Also, let me update the bottom line. That's scrolling on the bottom. It's going to have my leans in it. I got to put Garland over 6.5 assists, so you know we went over it. And I do like Brandon Boston today. I just gave that one. I'll give that to you guys as well. Boston, let's make it clear. It's Brandon Boston on the Clips. over 15.5, or I'm on the Clips. He was on the Clips. He's on the Pelicans now, and he's one of very few non-injured players. If we're looking at Harden in this matchup, I'd prefer the assists. Let me pull up. He's down to 8.5 because, I mean, this has been as high as 9.5 this season. It's plus 105. I think he was actually at 7.5. So let me open outlier.bet. That is where I can see a few different things, including obviously his averages. I want to see some averages on the potential assists. I want to see some of the lines. I want to see where it opened for him as well. Let me pull up Harden. What was the other thing I wanted to see here? Apply that. Oh, I wanted to see how well the Thunder defense limits assists to point guards, because I have a feeling not very well. So when I go to outlier.bet, a lot of you know this. I mean, if you just want to pull up points, rebounds, and assists, that allows you to at least look at all three versus different positions right over here. So you can see how they do versus point guards. Yeah, they give up a ton of rebounds to the point guard. To be honest, I don't do much with rebounds for point guards unless there's a really good reason for it. James Harden just hunts them and is sort of hiding down below. He's not even really playing point guard on defense. He's actually playing down low on the block. Is where you see him defending, which does lead to a lot of rebounds because he's in the rebounding spot for James Harden. So the rebounds are actually not a terrible play. And I thought the assists would be a little bit better against this team. But the assists are still 17th. So, they're not good at limiting that for a good defense, but they are good at limiting points in general. So it's tough for me to want to take points over. I think the assist for homie at what it's at, where are we at? Come here, assists right here. Let's pull up 2024. Yeah, now we're getting pretty good value at 8.5 because on the season he's averaging 9. And he's gone under. Let's see what the potentials have been at in these unders that he's been having. So, yeah, not very many potentials in the last 5 games. That's a lot fewer than the earlier in the season against OKC in one game where he only had 10 potentials. So, yeah, I think I'm kind of off it. He had 7 against OKC. It's still a high percentage. Now, the other thing is OKC doesn't have Chet in. So the lob is going to be a lot more available for Zubac, and Zubac stuff is super high. So I think the assists are still the play for Harden if you're going to play it. I do like that they're giving us this. They're letting us know this is an EV bet. If you make this over time at plus 105 for Harden to get over 8.5 assists in a vacuum, not taking into consideration the matchup, right? So if you consider the matchup, maybe plus 105 doesn't tickle your fancy. But if you don't even worry about the matchup, you just play this number over and over and over again for James Harden at plus 105 for him to get 9 assists. That's a pretty good look. So I'm going to put that on the bottom line as a lean for right now for James Harden. Let's see here. Harden over 8.5 assists plus 105. That's a lean for right now. All right, let's keep it rolling. Plus 105 is a lean for Jay Harden. That's scrolling on the bottom line. So I'm going to keep it going here. Let's see. Next one that we were looking at here, we got Cam Johnson request. Let's pull up the Nets game versus the Pellies. Cam J's been balling a little bit recently, hasn't he? Yeah, this is usually at 14.5, but he's gone clear over in the last 4 games. Thought he would do worse against the Celtics, and he still shot the ball 13 times because they're very good against spot ups. So now we're talking about the Pellies. He's scoring transition as well as the spot up. He's going to be shooting a ton of threes. Let's see. On his points here, he's got 4 threes, 3, 3, and 3. So he needs to hit 3 threes to get his points, is what we're saying. If you look at him, he hit the threes here. He still didn't get his points. He's shooting mostly threes, 9 of 12 shots, 10 of 12 shots, 6 of 10. So when you get a guy who's taking most of his shots from deep, you might as well just look at the 3-point prop and see what the deal is, because he's probably not getting his points without hitting those threes. So let's do it this way, just to show you my point. So I knew it was going to be juiced under the down at 2.5 there. So I don't want to have to take him to get 4 threes. Whenever they do this, I'm just kind of like, whatever, I'm out on the threes. If it's minus 142 for him to hit 3, he's done that 70% of the season. He's averaging 3 on the season, though. So this is not worth it at minus 142 for Cam J. Let's look at the points, the rebounds, too. So 4.5, he had 7 rebound chances, 16 against the Celtics, 8, 3, 8. Yeah, so somewhere around 7 to 8 rebound chances per game for him to get 5. Isn't something I really want to bet on either. Let's pull him up in outlier. Cam Johnson, which Cam we going for? All right, let's see here real quick. for Cam J. Let's pull up the PRA, just see how this Pelly's team is faring so far. We know they suck against centers because Yves Missy is just not it. Yeah, he's just a rookie. He's not big enough to stop anybody either. If you look at the point guard assists, they're up. So you can get dimes against this team from the point guard, but you can get dimes against this team in general versus Brooklyn. We're calling Cam obviously like the small forward. He's power forward, really. Power forward position against the Pellies with no Zion. So I don't even know who that is. Is it Brandon Ingram at this point? Like I'm trying to figure out even how these matchups will work. No, it's Jeremiah. Okay, so Jeremiah Robinson Earl starts at the power forward position, whatever you want to do with that. Not the best defender, decent athlete, but shouldn't be starting in the NBA. I'll tell you that. So not a bad look. He's also more of a big man. You're not going to have any choice, though, because Claxton and Missy are going to be guarding each other. So DFS, yeah, I guess you put Cam at the small forward if they're starting DFS. So he'll be matched up probably with BI then. So you got Cam Johnson. BI, he doesn't care about defense, to be honest, especially when he's just shooting the ball the whole time. So for Cam Johnson, I mean, it does not make me hate the points. The dimes, I guess he's had some decent potential assist games, but not really. See, all the times he's gone over, he's just getting like 4 assists on 5 potential. It's a little misleading. It's only 1.5 though. So doesn't add much to it, but it's not really worth it to put anything. And I don't want it at 2.5 by any means. This is kind of a fraud number to me for him to have that many. Like you look at he's getting more than 50% of his, like way more, 100% of potentials, 100%, 75% are all turning into assists. That's too high of a number. So I don't like the assists at all. The rebounds and the rebound chances we said are not that high. So I just don't see any reason to add stuff for him. I'm just looking at the rebound chances now. Right here. Yeah, he's at 8 per game this season, right? So that doesn't do anything for me here. In fact, yeah, 8 rebound chances to get 5 rebounds is what his number's at. Don't like that for the boards. The points I can get next to because BI doesn't play defense, but at 15.5, there's not much of an edge here in any way. The points are at 15.5. He's averaging 17, but really, what's the median points at? Let's just do points for a minute. Median points is at 16, so that's right what he's at. The reason I'm looking at the median is if you just take the average, sometimes that can be skewed by like these big numbers. Like 26 is an outlier. I would say 23 is an outlier. This is not someone who averages 20 points a game. So anything at 20 or above is more of an outlier for Cam than anything. The number 16 means he's going over 16 half the times and under 16 half the time that he's playing. So 16 is a reasonable number. 15.5 doesn't give us much of an edge for Cam Johnson. So let's move past Cam. Going to take him down for the PRA. I mean, honestly, if you're going PRA for Cam Johnson, I would be fading it. The assists and the rebounds are kind of fool's gold for me when you look at the volume, like rebound chances, potential assists, he's not really getting that many. So let's look at Jay Poole. And I know y'all got in here some more looks, so we'll take that into consideration. Let's take a quick NFL question. Kyron Williams over 85 rushing yards for the Rams. I think he's going to do his damage in the first half, and then they'll really get Puka and obviously Kupp a lot more involved. So 85 is high. I don't believe he's been doing that too much either, right? Quick NBA break to look at your NFL plays for our boy Kyron. My favorite Kyron play, if you want it, is for him to score the Rams' first touchdown, which they have listed here. This is the best part about Outlier. They have every bet listed. Rams' first touchdowns plus 180 on FanDuel. I think that's a good look. He's done that in 7 of 8 games this season. And what's his regular touchdown? Minus 200. You can still get Prize Picks is giving you minus 137. That's a steal. Grab that on Prize Picks. It's like minus 220 on DraftKings for him to get 1 touchdown. So don't want any part of that. But all right, let's look at Poole. Jay Poole, and we know that Kyle Kuzma is back. So we have something to work with here. Whenever a player goes out or comes back, that impacts things in a way that we can use, right? We can go, okay, normally he might be doing this, but with this guy back, he's going to be doing that. So let's see. He's playing a good defensive team. Jordan Poole is the type of player to score against this team. I will say that. They're a little better this year against a pick and roll ball handler, but they give up more points to point guards. Let's go back to this over here on Outlier and pull up Poole. And one thing that's always good to start with too, when you're just looking at with and without a player, is to just use StatMuse. So let's just see. This is just a starting point, but let's say Jordan Poole with and without Kuzma last season. So last season with Kuz, 17 a game. Without Kuz, 20 a game. Big difference. 3 more dimes, 1.5 more boards. Like, these dudes are definitely the only two doing much on offense for themselves. So we already know Jordan Poole scores now 3 points fewer with and without Kuzma. Let's see if it's the same this season, although there's not nearly the sample size. We can just say this season. Yeah, so 3 with him, 22. 5 without him, 20. And with him, he's actually been better this season in general. So that's something to consider. Much smaller sample size, but this is also a slightly different team this year. So you got to take that into consideration. It's just food for thought, not necessarily reasons to make a bet or not make a bet. But we do see him down to 18.5 because of Kuz being in. And this got bet up or down. Which way? Let me look at points. I like to see which way the line moved on outlier. So it opened at 19.5, dropped to 18.5, and is now back at 18.5 for the most part, or it's on both. So you can get both numbers here, 18.5 and 19.5 for Jay Poole. Okay, so 18.5. What do we do with that? He's at 21. With Kuzma, he's at 22 in the 3 games they've played. The Rockets, let's go back to outlier. Let's pull up PRA. Look at how they do stuff, how they be doing. Rockets are 4th fewest points allowed overall, fewest assists allowed overall. So he is at, for point guard, 7th fewest assists and 28th in terms of points allowed. So that's what I'm saying. They give up points to Jordan Poole's player type, which is point guard, ball handler. They give up assists to nobody, and definitely not to point guards. So his assist line is at just 4.5. God damn, they are hyper aware of this. I'd be going over on that before I'd be going under, but just not for minus 150, to be honest. Let's see. He's gotten 5 in, like half the games. I believe with Kuz, he's probably gotten the assists a lot more often. Let's put Kuzma in here. Where you at, Kuzma? Kuz with him this season. This is the last 10. Let's do 24. So 2 overs and 1 at 4. The potential assists in these games are pretty high. Yeah, I remember earlier I was like, man, he's getting a lot of potential assists, but not very many assists, partly because the Wizards suck, right? So they are 25th in field goal percentage. So it's hard to get assists when your teammates don't make the shots that you pass them when you pass them the ball, obviously. So that's a big part of the lack of assist despite a high potential assist number with him. This is, let's see. So the points are pretty low. I would be going over on the points. I wouldn't be touching the assists. And I wouldn't be really touching the rebounds either. I don't like taking point guard or short guy rebounds, hoping that the ball just falls to them. For the minutes this year, he's looking at like 30 a game. There's not much here. I'd be going over on the points, but under on the assists for Poole. But it's not enough for me to make a bet on him for sure on this one. So I'm going to pass on Poole. Let's get to Wemby, and then we'll get to Keegan Murray. There's a lot of Keegan Murray requests in there, which is interesting to me. Wondering what people are seeing with Keegan Murray, but we'll wait so we can look at Wemby, so we can keep my ADD in check and we can stick to a plan. Wemby at 22.5. This is what I mean by inflated numbers for star players. I've talked about this a lot. If you want to take Luka points, you're paying a Luka tax. Luka Doncic is the leading scorer in the NBA, right? Last year, you're going to have to pay more because they're going to go, everyone wants to take over on Luka's. Nobody wants to take an under on Luka. Same concept for Wemby. Nobody wants to go under on Wemby. They just see this dude as a phenom that they want to go over on. So with the books knowing that, they're going to take whatever they think the number should be for Wemby, and they're going to add a point to it. So this should probably be 21.5. Well, they're adding a point to it. He's at 18 points per game. A lot of the times, the books don't even feel like looking at numbers. They just literally look at the averages and a few other things to add to the projection, and they go out with that. Why is this 4 points, 5 points higher than the average amount of points that he has on the season? It doesn't make any sense. And if you look at Wemby in his median number, which I've talked about, I hope y'all remember median from like 3rd grade algebra, right? Mean, median, mode. But let's see. I'm looking at Wemby. So for Wemby, if we look at the median, again on the points, so he's averaging 18.3 points, but the median number is 17. Meaning if you just line up all his point totals from lowest to highest, and then you meet in the middle with what the middle number is, it's 17. It's another way of saying it is 50% of the time he's going over 17 points, 50% of the time he's going under 17 points. All right. So, or he's getting 17 exactly. So this doesn't make any sense that this number is so high for his points. Let's look at center points against the Kangs. 17th, not great, not terrible. Let's look at how some of these centers have fared against the Kangs in general. So if we look at points, we can go down and see some of the other players that are centers and how they've done against this team. Jay Randall scored a lot. AD scored a lot. Collins and Okagu scored a lot. Maybe you can get points against them. What's their opponent defense down low? They do have the top defense right next to the rim, but somehow the second worst defense in the extended paint area, which is interesting. Wemby is getting most of his points either from transition or the free throw line, not really posting up too much. This team's good against post-ups, so Sabonis is at least strong. And he's shooting most of his stuff down here above the break, 17th. They're worst in the corners, and I believe they give up a lot to spot up. Yeah, they're dead last against spot up. So Wemby's not really shooting very much spot up. He's got the ball in his hands a good amount. I would be leaning under on the points. Let's see how he did last year real quick against Sabonis and squad. Had one 27-point game and 19 and 31 minutes, 30 minutes, 27 points. Yeah, I mean, that's good. 26 shots and 21 shots. How many is he shooting this season? He's looking at 15, 13. He's not taking 21 shots this year. There's 22. So he's only taken 20 twice so far. He is averaging a good amount of shots. So I don't like fading him against a team that doesn't have a solid defense that makes you feel comfortable against centers. I don't love that Sabonis is his matchup. I mean, he's not a great one-on-one defender at all. So I get it for the points. The rebounds, I'd be leaning to the under. Where are those at? This is 11.5 right now, I'm telling you. That's crazy. That's crazy that you would have an 11.5 rebound line for a dude that's averaging 10.2. And as far as, they give up the second most rebounds to centers. So that's probably what the books are seeing, but it's still inflated. Like, even if this team is second worst at giving up points or rebounds to centers, like, it's not worth that much more. 2 rebounds. So I'm still leaning under on PRA for him. Is this at PRA? Is it, why am I getting first half PRA? Because it's the first one. PRA, if we're looking at it, it's at 38.5. Like, I'm taking anything around 39, 40 under that, to be honest. I can't get under 39.5, but that would be my preference. How many times has he gone over 38.5 this season? So he's gone over in 4 of 10. Yeah, I'd be leaning on the under for Wemby. There's no real edge either way for me with Wemby, but I'm going to pass on betting on him. So let's see. Great question from David H. Let me see about that one. If you are trying to calculate your edge for a bet like KW, who was the first one that we did? KW first. Kyron Williams, first TD. How do you estimate the probability? Are you simply looking at percentage of games where he has been the first to score? That's a great question. There's a couple of things that are going to go into that. You want to pump as much info into that as you can. It's a little bit more of an elaborate question. Hit me on the side, David H. Just DM me somewhere. I mean, it's JL Boogie everywhere. All the links to my social media or Discord. If you want to jump in the free Discord, jump in there and hit me with that question. I can show you a few mathematical tings. All right, let's see real quick. Yeah, no vid on the lines today. We had Veterans Day, so everybody got off for that. All right, let's keep it moving. Wemby's a pass, but I lean to the under. I just don't have an edge, any kind of edge to the over. If anything, it's a lot more to the under. So, and to show you what I mean, like, if you just want to take averages and just keep it simple, and this will kind of answer a little bit of David H's question. So I just want to bring it up real quick. And some of y'all have probably seen this already, which is the baby model. I'm just going to pull that up real quick because, oh man, this internet sucks right now. Let me know if y'all are having issues with the internet. I don't think so, but yeah, no doubt, man. Hit me up, David H. What's good, Julius Jones? Cooper Cup prop. Yeah, I mean, the receptions for Cup tonight, I think he's going to get a ton of them for real. So I have no problem with that. All right, let's see about the baby model here. So this is what I'm talking about real quick. If we're taking Wemby, let's put Wemby PRA in here. And the line was 38.5. The under odds for Wemby. And this is answering a little bit of your question too, David H. I hope. So the PRA, let's see, you can still get 38.5. So that's the number I'm putting. 38.5 minus 115 on both sides. Great. Let's just keep it simple. So 38.5 minus 115 and minus 115. Don't be a dick. Come on. All All right. And then his minutes average on the season for Wemby, he's looking at 31 minutes a game this year. 31. His prop average for the PRA is 30.9. Not even close. Not even close. His projected minutes tonight, I'll use ETR for this. I believe I still have it up. So if y'all are not familiar with ETR, just give you a little bit of an insight. This is a website that creates projections for every game. So you get every single player's projected minutes, points, rebounds, assists, etc. For Wemby tonight, they have him at 32.5 minutes. So let's put him in at 32.5. Let's see what they have him projected for. They have him at 21.9, so 22, 25.5, 36.8 or 36.9. So still not above what he needs to be. But at minus 115, I believe we're dealing with like 52%. Hold on, let's look. So now I'm taking, and I'll show you, I'll just run through what I'm doing real quick in a sec, but minus 115 is 53%. Is the implied probability that this is going to happen is 53%. So this is automatically telling me, because I have it with formulas inside of it, that the over is an edge at minus 28%, meaning there's no over. But if you want to take an under, there's an edge at 16.83%. So using standard deviation, using the projected minutes and his averages as they are, you can see if it's worth it or not. And this also takes into account the actual odds that were being given, because it uses the implied probability of those odds to show us if there's an edge, right? So basically the book is saying there's a 53% chance that he goes over. There's a 53% chance that he goes under. If you have numbers that tell you there's more like a 70% chance that he goes under, right? Then you're going to end up with this number, is what we're saying. So I know that's a little bit confusing to some, but it's an example of how you can find out if it's worth it to bet it or not, using the odds that you're given alongside the actual props that you're given. Love Achane. Love Achane. I mean, I know this is too simple, but like 63 yards per game receiving when Tua's in versus whatever it is without him, much fewer. So yeah, I love Achane tonight on his receiving stuff all over the place. Get it for show. All right. Let's see. We got an Ant Edwards look. Let me, I'll add Ant right now to the upcoming. Let's look at Keegan Murray. Ant assists. Got that in there. I love that the NBA games don't start till 5 too. Gives me a little bit more time to get after all these bets. All right. I see one from our guy here. Beharizmi. Like that name. Jose Alvarado, PRA. We can look at that too. Ant Ray Allen Edwards, 100%, dude. It's crazy. Homie's shooting the 3 all day, every day. Let's look at Grand Theft Alvarado, GTA. Someone remind me that it's Grand Theft Alvarado when I inevitably come back and go, who the fuck is GTA? All right, Keegan. Threegan Murray or Keegan Murray? Let's see. I think the look was for his boards on some folks. Let's see what we're looking at here. We're going to call Keegan the power forward. That's what he's playing. He is averaging 14.5 points, which is what his prop is at tonight against a decent defensive team. What's their D rating this season? There's 12th. Yeah. I mean, 12th for defensive rating for the Spurs when last season they were dead last, second to last, third to last. Yeah, that's pretty nice. The rebounds are at 7.5 now. He's averaging 9 on the young season, eh? Oh, Shane. Wow, that is a premium that we're paying. So this is what we mean when we're saying we're paying a premium, right? If you just take, and let me pull up Betting Pros. This is a super helpful site. I know I bring it up sometimes. I can't tell if people like it or not, but I would be using this often. This is Betting Pros. What I'm using this for right now is the ability to see the recent prop numbers that have been set for guys like Threegan Murray. Stand by. All right, cool. Threegan Murray. So on Betting Pros, the link to this is also in the description of the video. I would use this if you're looking at Keegan Murray and you're going, I mean, I do this every day, so I don't need to do any math to figure this out, but I know that 7.5 is a high number for him. I look at these props, all of these props every day, and they're normally at about 5.5. They've been bumped up to 6.5 for Keegan Murray, but 7.5 is very high. That means we're paying a premium. Why are we doing that? Because in the last 6 games, he's gotten 10 plus assists in 5 of the last 6. And one of those was against the Heat, and he still had 12 rebound chances, but he still only had 6 boards. So now we're talking about him getting 8 boards, but we're at the wrong end of this, right? So he averages 9, but for his career, he's at like 6 rebounds per game, right? Let's just look at Keegan. I believe he's in the league 2 years now, right? Keegan Murray career stats. Even one season isn't necessarily the best sample size when you have an entire career. So for his career, 30 minutes, 33, 38 this season. So he's averaging, where we at, the RPG, 4.6, 5.5. Now he's at 9 boards per game. Granted, could have taken a leap, gotten a lot better. Fine, that's great. At the same time, do we really think that that's super sustainable for him? Is he that good of a rebounder? I would say he should be a lot closer to like 7 boards per game, right? So let's say 7 boards per game, just to be fair. 7 boards per game is still a massive jump from 4.6, 5.5. And it's a few more minutes, 5 more minutes per game for sure, than last season. So he could be upwardly trending. That's fine. I still think 38 minutes is a lot for him this season. I think 9 boards is not where he's going to end the season. So back to betting pros. What's been his prop line? That's helpful information for those of us that aren't psychopaths who look at this every day like myself, so that you can find out, has this line been going up? Has the books just keep bumping this up? So let's go to rebounds, 7.5. Let's just scroll down and see the game log with those prop lines. So this is what I was mentioning. The first game of the season was actually 4.5 rebounds. Then it got bumped up to 5.5 because he kept going over consistently, even though right here he went under. Then it was 6.5. And now we're paying the ultimate premium of 7.5 rebounds. Because we predict him to be at about 7 rebounds per game, that's what I would be a lot more likely to bet on if he was at 7 rebounds per game for the rest of the season. Because he's gone over so frequently, he's got to come under at some point. The averages say that he's got to go back down if we think those averages are closer to 7. So I see what you're saying with the rebounds. I know he's been a great rebounder this year. I think he's been getting a high number of rebounds on the potentials as well. We should keep that into consideration. And then we can just look at the matchup real quick and see if there's anything there. But for Threegan, where you at, Threegan? Let's go to his rebounds. $20.24. The books are saying this is a good EV bet over time because you're getting a great number on FanDuel, and he's been averaging a lot of rebounds. Fair, all fair points. In fact, his median number is 10, so he might even have a better number than 9 per game. But the rebound chances, so they're at 14. It's actually not bad. They've gone up, though, in the last 3. I would say this is a bit of an outlier. And this is partly because Domas is dealing with Zubac, and there is no real good power forward for the Clippers. Derrick Jones Jr. is not a great rebounder. And then Toronto's terrible. And then Phoenix is also a pretty bad rebounding team. This is also in overtime where he played. That's why his minutes are also so high. He's played like a couple overtime games, including this one to start the season and this one right here. Right? Was this an OT game? Oh, I guess not. I thought there was another OT game in here for the Kings. Yeah. Oh, this one. Okay. So either way, I think the minutes are bloated. I think the rebounds are bloated. 14, though, maybe I need to be giving more credit. I'm still in a wait and see mode for his boards to see if he's really there. I think these are a little bit inflated. And I think 6.5 might be the best line for him moving forward this season. Let's see what ETR has him at, and then we'll move on. Rebs for Threegan. They got him at 6.7. So this is my point. Establish the Run agrees with me in their projections. Even at 37 minutes, he's a lot closer to 7 boards per game. This is what I'm saying. So I like that they're in agreement with me. I think under on the PRA for Keegan Murray is starting to feel like a good bet to me, to be honest. 23.5. Okay, that's the only number. So 23.5. He's averaging 25, but gone over and under half the time. I still think this is a decent fade against the Spurs. His matchup, maybe he gets, he got Harrison Barnes, former teammate Harrison Barnes. That'll probably be his matchup. This is going to be a weird game, too, because we got Devin Vassell back. So there's going to be a lot of unknowns in this one. I would say I'm staying away from an over on Keegan Murray rebounds. That's for damn sure. And I would be leaning to the under on his stuff before I went over. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Betting Pros is a great one, man. It's really helpful to make sure that you don't miss out on that stuff. 3 great sites from Julius Jones, Betting Pros, Outlier, RotoWire, also good. RotoWire, I don't trust their projections, to be honest with you. They're good for starting lineup and injury news for sure. To trust them to the end of the world, but do not trust them in their projections that they put out. There's a reason that theirs are like 20 a month or something even cheaper, and the ETR stuff is like $350 for the season. So, but RotoWire great for lineups and such. If you are looking for the links to the tools that I'm using, check out the description of the video. I even put like a little, like 1 or 2 words to just give you an understanding of what the tool does, right? So there, pretty much everything I have right here is going to be in the linked in the description of the video if you want to check that out. So definitely check that out. And then you can get all those tools. But also DM me if you have any questions. Jump in the free Discord. Hit me up if you have any questions as well. Let's keep it moving here. 3 Murray is going to be a pass. Zach LaVine. Do not like betting on Zach LaVine. I'll be honest with you. Please don't make me. I'll look at this Bulls game, but we're going to probably start with Josh Giddey. I know there was a Cooper Kupp look in there too. And I am going with, it's absurd how many assists this Bulls team gives up. Take a look at that. The Bulls allow the most assists to everybody. Let me pull up Kobe White. Or no, he's on the Bulls. Stupid. Let's pull up Darius Garland, showing the dimes. Let's go to assists. This is a great feature on Props Madness from my homie Pips. If you go down, you can see other similar players and how they have fared in getting their assists versus this team. So that's a lot of green. The green is compared to their average amount of assists. How did they fare against this team? Well, everybody is doing pretty well, as you can see. Mike Conley got 139% more assists than he averages on the season against the Bulls. These are some absurd numbers. The ones I'm mostly concerned with are the players similar to Garland. So Trae Young, Conley, a little bit of DDV, but mostly Conley because he's starting, not Ant. Yeah, some Dimwitty. He's also not primary, but Luka's not listed as a point guard, but Luka got 13 assists against this team. So yeah. And then Keontae George. Yeah, all these guys have gotten their dimes against this team. So they give up a ton. I just want to point that out before we look at anything else in this game. Like assists against them from pretty much everybody, but especially the point guard are going to be a great bet. Let's look at Josh Giddey. So Giddey against Cleveland, who has been a good defense. Let's start with just some of what he's doing. They don't have his play type analysis pulling through yet. That's annoying. But the opponent defense for the Cavs is going to be best, pretty much down low. They're a good 3-point defense this year. What is their D rating? I know it's gone down actually a little bit. Still 9th best defense in the league. Points in the paint allowed. They're 8th best limiting points. They are playing at the 9th fastest pace. 7th best 3-pointers allowed. Pretty good against assists and the 2nd best rebounding team as well. So rebounds are gonna be hard to come by. Points are honestly going to be hard to come by. If you look at, let's pull up Giddey over here on the stuff. I know that PB likes the under on Giddey, and I would be much more likely to be in agreement with him than otherwise. But let's pull up Giddey. You get it? It's funny because he's Australian and they say Giddey. All right, points, rebounds, and assists. You get it, right? You guys get it? You get it. The PG stuff, we're calling him the PG, honestly. Like, it's tough to really use this stuff with this team. You've got Josh Giddey, you've got Kobe White. They list him as a shooting guard, but like, what does that mean, really? Let's look at this. Let's look at it this way. This is something that's really helpful when you're kind of like, is he a point guard? I don't know. It's really more about what's he doing, not just what is his label. Not into labels, right? So let's go to tracking, players tracking. I'm going to go to touches. So this is where you can see a little bit more about the specifics about who is touching the ball, how long they have the ball, how often they're passing it, how much they're dribbling it, where are they getting the ball. These are all of the touches. So this is all players in the league. This is also in the description of the video. NBA Advanced Stats page at the end of the day is going to have most of what you need. And anything that you get that is not NBA Advanced Stats is probably pulling a lot of their information from NBA Advanced Stats. So you might as well just come to the source. Once I'm on players instead of teams right here, I go to tracking instead of just general. And tracking data is going to help me go to touches, passing, pull-up, rebounding. What's he doing in these situations? So the touches, I'm going to filter this to the team so that I'm just looking at Los Bulls. Not Bulls, it's CHI is their abbreviation. So it's the team is CHI right here. So now I just have the Bulls. So who is the most ball touches? So this is why I say Josh Giddey's the point guard. He has the most touches on the team. Time of possession means he's also probably bringing the ball up the court. Front court touches, he does not have the most, right? So that's because he's bringing the ball up. So front court touches means when you're actually on your side of the court and you're within the 3-point line or so, who has the most touches? Well, that would still be once you get to the front court. Now it's Vooch, because Vooch is been the guy actually playing the most minutes and getting the most amount of time with the ball in his hands outside of the guards, right? He's the only one that does what he does. The guards are all kind of splitting time. But this is my point. Like, Josh Giddey is the point guard. So he is the one that if you're going to fade a point guard because you think the Cavs are good versus point guards, you fade him. You don't fade. Kobe White is not the point guard. Kobe White is a lot more of the shooting guard. Let me see one more thing here about Giddey. They don't have his play type stuff up. Annoying. What about Kobe? So for Kobe, spot up. Right? He's doing more spot up than he is anything else. Like even the pick and roll ball handler. He's scoring more points off the spot up because Josh Giddey is passing him the ball because he is the point guard. So this is how you know that Josh Giddey is the point guard, just doing a little bit of digging into it. So please don't tell me Kobe White's the point guard. This is stupid. So now I can actually use some of this stuff to go, all right, if Giddey's the point guard, how does this team do against point guards? They give up the 4th most points. They give up the 2nd fewest rebounds and the 3rd fewest assists, right? So they're really good limiting assists. Once you get inside, they're also good at limiting shooters. So they're good at limiting spot up stuff, I believe. Weren't they pretty good at that? Let's look at Kobe White again. Not really. 18th limiting spot up. So they will give up a bit more on the spot up for the Cavs. And they will give up points. I think Kobe White's a little bit better on the points. I think Giddey, if you wanted an over, a little bit better on the assists. What's been his potentials? 12 to get 6. Yeah, 12 to get 6. I like 11 to get 6. I don't mind. 10 to get 6. We're getting close, but he's averaging double-digit potentials. I think the assists are still a good look, even though, as I said, they're limiting the teams at 3rd fewest assists. I would rather have him diming up and take the over for points for a guy like Kobe White is where I would be if I'm betting on this team. But let me look at Zach LaVine real quick. I'm not going to have a bet for either of those dudes, although, like I said, assists are enticing for Giddey. He's at 7 on the season. Let's see what ETR has him projected for, because this might actually be a play. Not the points. They have him at 5.9, so that's right at about what he would need. They have him at 28 minutes as well. Zach LaVine, they have at 21 points. Was he at a pretty good number? Yeah, 18.5 is beatable for sure. He's taking enough shots, I'm sure. 12, well, he's not even taking that many shots. 12, 17. He only took 9 shots against the Magic. That's crazy. 22 before he got hurt, 13, 15. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think LaVine isn't a terrible play here against this squad. Getting on transition. He's going to be doing some ISO. I still don't love it against the Cavs defense, and you have the blowout possibilities in there as well for the Cavs, who are just incredible right now and running teams out the gym. Other than that, I'm going to keep it moving because I know that there's a bunch more bets to look at from y'all. So we have a quick interruption on the footballs. Look, for Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, I can't give you a straight answer with like authority for either of them. I just ended up staying away. I'm sure I know there's good reason to bet both of them. I do think that that you're going to be looking at a good amount of third downs where you've got Cooper Kupp getting the looks that he always gets on third down. And if they want to keep the ball moving, they're going to be throwing to him a lot. So I do like the receptions for him. I like the yards a bit more from Puka than I do the receptions for Puka. But I mean, look, Puka had 4 targets and a reception by the 2nd quarter of the last game before he got kicked out for punching somebody in the face like a baller. So yeah, anyway, let me, I'm not going to bet on either of them. I mean, really, I'm only going to take 2 plays tonight in the NFL. But I do want to get into a few more of the NBA. Is NFL easier to bet on? I actually don't think so, to be honest. Over the course of a season, I actually think the NBA is a little bit easier. Or easier isn't even the word. I just think it's easier to find an edge in the NBA because in the NFL, every single person in this country and their mom is betting on the NFL, whereas it's a slightly smaller group of people that are betting on the NBA. When that happens, it does allow you to find more value where there's fewer people betting. There's a good amount of reasons for that, which we can talk about another time. So good questions, though. I appreciate the questions in the chat. Let me get a couple more in here and see if we can add a couple and then dip out. So let's look at Ant's assists in general. Let's look at that Minnesota squad. Are they even playing tonight? They're not even playing tonight. Oh, you're already looking at tomorrow. I was like, wait, Ant? Let me keep it to today since we only have a few minutes. But overall, 6 assists is a lot for Ant. even against the poo-poo Blazers, who seem to just finally be fully tanking and not even trying to pretend like they're going to win this season. So let's look at GTA, and then we should have an opportunity for one more. But appreciate the questions today, y'all. You guys are bringing some good shit, and I appreciate that. Helps me out when you guys bring good stuff. And one more reminder, like if you do bring stuff, let me know why you're betting it. I would love to have some of the reasoning that you guys have behind your bets. It helps me get a starting point for what I'm looking at. Why do you like this bet? You're like, oh, I like Giddey. Why do you like Giddey? Cavs are bad at this or that. Giddey should get some more minutes tonight because XYZ reason. Whatever it is, just give me that. And that's great. And that's super helpful. Banner. Let me see what else. So GTA, I wanted to add a couple more from the comments is what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's fair. Like Puka's got some splaining to do. He's got something to make up. What's good, Joe? Always good to have you in here, fam. I think you're possibly right, Director Joe. I think that might be right. And Zach, yeah, Zach Levine a little bit too inconsistent for sure. Looks good to me to like Vooch. We can take a look at Vooch. J Dub, right? This J Dub, Jay Williams for the Thunder. Let's put we'll put J Dub in here. I'll put Vooch in here. Vooch has not been a man to fade this year. Vooch has been a killer on offense. All right, let's see if we can get through some of those. I want to see if there's any looks in here I forgot about. Oh yeah, we should be looking at Nick Claxton. I know my guy Legacy King likes that. Congrats to Legacy King. Got the Vince Carter USA jersey giveaway in the VIP Discord. My man. Now I got to send that bitch to Sweden, but still, that's cool. All right, let's see. You like Harden rebounds from Jim Perkrezov? I get it. Yeah, that's crazy. Sometimes I'm kind of like, I need a reason. So why do they allow the most rebounds to guards? I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't really know why. I don't have a reason for it. But when I look at something like guard rebounds, I'm kind of like, I don't care that much. Like it's a lot of times it's just which guards are like in there the most, getting the ball falling to them. There aren't that many good rebounding guards. So just take some of that with a grain of salt. But let's see. All right, let me just look at a few of these and then we'll dip out of here so I can get some more stuff in the VIP. It's the blue one. Yeah, it's the blue Vince Carter jersey. Fire, man. I'm telling you, this thing is so clean. It's authentic too. Got it through a hookup at Fanatics. Formerly Mitchell and Ness, but now Fanatics has those jerseys. My hookup was with Mitchell and Ness, but anyway, yeah, that shit was fires for sure. Let's see. Yep, for sure. Garland's a look, Joe. For sure. Yeah, so Chet's out in that game too, but let's start here with some J-Dub. So he's still at 20.5 points. Yesterday against they're gonna be pissed, right? Like they lost by 11, but they were down by like 25 for part of that game. Kason Wallace hit some big shots. So we were looking at Powell earlier. Now we're talking about J-Dub. Man, I mean, J-Dub at 20.5 points, I just hate because that's right at about what he's going to get all of the time. He's very consistent. They have very consistent rotations on OKC. It's part of the reason that like I don't like SGA unless it's at like 27.5 right now, even though last year he was a 30-point game guy. You look at first of all, they're blowing teams out. Second of all, so 29 minutes here, right, because of a blowout. 39 minutes because they were in a close game against the Nuggets that they lost, 28 there, but still like 19 shots. He's not really taking more than 20 shots very often because there's so many other good players on this team. So that's what really, like at this point, 20 points for J-Dub, 30 points for Shy. Like that's going to be a pass for me, dog. Like that's just going to be too much of the right. It's a fair line every time. And he's also at 26 a game. And granted, you might say there's an opportunity for some upswing. That's fine, but 29.5 ain't it. Not against this good defense for the Clippers, right? So, and I don't care about any like revenge stuff because he was traded from them. Like I really don't care about that. So I'm not paying attention to it. Ooh, this information. This is good information from Tyrell. Tyreek is active tonight. Appreciate that. Adam Hurley is very upset with Gabe Vincent right now. An NBA player. His name is Gabe Vincent. I mean, I don't know, man. Are you betting on Gabe Vincent right now? That might be something to take a look in the mirror about. That's all I'm saying. But now he's playing like dog shit since he got hurt. So yeah, for J-Dub, I'm not gonna be on the points. You asked about the rebounds though. And so now we're talking about Chet being out, right? That's got probably part of the angle is who's going to be rebounding for this team. Hell, who's going to be starting for this team? Honestly, let's look at OKC's projected stuff on ECR real quick. I don't see any centers out there. Don't see any centers. So who's gonna be doing the rebounding? You got J-Dub at power forward. So I'm seeing where your head's at here. So J-Dub is gonna be matched up. Okay, this is actually a really good look in that we can figure out who's matching up with who. So tell me J-Dub is matched up with Zubac. Jesus Christ, Zubac is gonna have 90,000 points and rebounds tonight. They've only got him at 16.5 points. That feels exploitable, mostly because. So is this defense good now? So 11th best inside inside the paint as a whole, they're top 10, right? But that's because they had Chet Holmgren, and now they do not. Oh my God, is J-Dub about to guard Zubac? What? What is he, like 6'5"? That's crazy. My bad. Just got to see what the deal is with J-Dub. They don't have a center, man. This is crazy. What's going to happen here? Let's take a look at this real quick. So J-Dub, I'm going to go to the Thunder. I'm doing this the most ass backwards way possible for some stupid reason. Please just let me look at the players. Can I? Oh my God. All right. I'm just going to stat use. Can you please tell me how tall he is? How tall is Jalen Williams? Please tell me you know that. Okay, he's 6'5", 211. How tall is Ivica Zubac? 7 feet 240. So that's about 30 pounds and 7 inches. Wow. What? Why would we not be taking? I guess he could get run off the floor, but you can still get 15.5 points. It's 12.5 boards. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He's gotten 13 rebounds in 4 out of 10 games. But I mean, the rebound chances are there. How do we bet on Zubac? 20 and 10, 20 and 15. Like, there's no center on the other team. There's nobody that even comes up to his fucking belly button. Is Lou Dort going to be guarding him? All right. I mean, fuck it, right? Like, this is not a bet that's being made on, like, past performances, reasonable numbers. There are no reasonable numbers here. But Ivica Zubac needs to be bet upon. I'll say that. Even, can you still get 28.5? 28.5 PR is minus 115 on Bet365. I think that's a great starting point for Zoo. And then we figure out how to do different things to get more money out of this. But, yeah, I mean, they don't have a center. And if you look at who's going to be playing the majority, Kenrich Williams is going to be their next biggest player. Is Ousmane Deng going to come in and really help out? I mean, he sucked in Summer League. How's he going to be good against actual NBA players? Bruh. I mean, the only way that this goes haywire is that Zubac just gets played off the floor because the Thunder are just running up and down, up and down, up and down. But, like, yeah, I'm betting on it. And it's a good look too. It's like this and like that and like this and Harden assist is a lean that I have on the bottom line. I like where your head's at with that too. All right, cool. Yeah, there's not even really a stretch 5, bro. So all right, cool. I'm putting Zubac over 28.5 PR. I think 29.5 is fine, but 28.5 is a nice edge, minus 115. On the C, what do they have him at? Let's see what ETR has him at real quick, and then I got to dip out. Quick reminder, I'm going to put this up. If you do want a link, definitely check out the description of the video. I'll say that because you got links to everything you need in there, all the tools. Also got the VIP in there. Still got the season pass running for the NBA. That's going to be going away pretty soon. We are up about 5 units now on the NBA season. We're up about 7, lost 7, and then came back. So it's an up and down season, but it's going to be more ups and downs for sure. For sure. I like the assists. Hardenstein's still hurt, man. He's been hurt. He's probably still out for another couple weeks, it looks like. So, and I do want to look at GTA. My bad. I think you were the one that brought it in class. So we'll look at those and get out of here. Zubac, they got him they only have him 15, 6 points, 13 boards though. That gets you to 29. 29 is so high. Really, only 15.6 points, even though if he gets a rebound, he's just going to go back up with it and score. Like, how can you give him 13 rebounds and say he's not going to get the points off of that? That's crazy to me. But maybe you just take like 15 and 12 or something like that. I'm going to find out how to bet on Zubac. I'll just look at GTA real quick. I'm going to dip out. Claxton is a great play. I get it. I hate betting on Nick Claxton. I absolutely loathe it. Some people like it. I do not. What are his rebounds at? Yeah. Wait, what? No, that's not right. That's okay. So it's just pulling through the alt for a minute because FanDuel doesn't have the 9.5 right now. If you take a double and you get close to even money, fine for Nick Claxton. I don't like betting on dudes that rely on everybody else to get them points, like even Jared Allen. But Zubac, a little bit different. If he's going to get the ball, you can post these dudes up. He actually has an offensive game. Grand Theft Alvarado. This went down. It was at 15.5. We got it at 14.5. I'm not afraid of Brandon Boston points. Even though Trey Murphy is back, I don't think he's going to get that much usage. I think Brandon Boston is a great play at 15.5. Jose Alvarado, PRA. Rebounds at 3.5. I don't want to add those. I'd be doing points and assists or just points, to be honest. He's been taking a lot of shots the last 3 games. 11 threes, 7 threes, 9 threes. But what are his threes at? 2.5 is still minus 106. I think this is the best. Oh, you can get even money on Bet365. This is against a good 3-point defense. I will say, like, this perimeter defense is still very good. 4th best limiting threes above the break. I believe they're top 5 limiting threes overall. 3-point. Yeah, they're only giving like the 5th most attempts from 3. So it's hard to get threes against this team, but Alvarado is taking a ton of them, right? 11 in the last 3 games, 7, 9. And that's all been because everybody's been out. So 9, 11, and 7 is 9 a game. 9 a game to hit 3 of them. If he's going to be looking at 9 a game again, I think that's a good look. Murphy is going to take some of those away from him for sure. But I think Murphy's still capped at like 25 minutes tonight. So I think you can play these guys normally. Like, I still think they're going to be good for their usage. I'd be looking at the points. I think I'd be leaving the assists and the rebounds out for Grand Theft Alvarado if you want to take him. So yeah, it's just really about if he's going to make those threes, which is why at the end of the day, like, so look right here, 11 of his 18 shots were threes. 4 of his 7 makes from the floor were from 3, right? So if he doesn't hit the threes, he's not getting the points. It's just that simple. But 7, 3, and 4. He's averaging fucking like 5 threes a game in the last little bit of time. Even money, it's worth a sprinkle for him with the amount that he's been taking. If he's going to take, if you haven't projected for 9 threes again, let's see what they have him at. Going back to NOP real quick. Jose Alvarado, they have at 2.823. So right, it's right in between there. And they have him at the 6.4 assists. So this is where I'd be leaning with Trey Murphy back. That probably does mean that he's spotting up a little bit less and he's passing a little bit more to guys like Trey Murphy. But you can see they still only have Trey at 23 minutes. If we get 14.5 points as Trey's point line, I might be going under on that, but we still need to wait to get that out. We have an hour and a half. So all right. I appreciate y'all. Today's been a good show. I really like the looks that you guys are bringing. I'm going to have a few more bets coming out in the VIP Discord. Jump in the free Discord. If you don't want to pay for anything, I totally get it. But if you do want to, the link is in the description of the video and up right there. Got 40% off using the season pass if y'all want it. I'm going to have a video for tomorrow's slate coming out tonight, 8 games tomorrow. And then we'll be back with the live show tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, as we do every day. So the picks are going to be on the bottom line, my guy. So if you want those are going to be scrolling on the bottom line. I'm going to pin them in the comments as well. But I'm not really handing out picks on the live show here. I'm kind of like looking at y'all's bets that you want to bring, seeing if we find anything together, and then going from there. So that's what we do. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Best luck tonight. And until I see, also give the video a like. I mean, if you got anything out of it, unless you think I'm a complete douchebag, fine, give it a thumbs down. But at the very least, just give it a like. That's super appreciated. All right. Best of luck tonight. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Until I do, happy betting.